Are you tired of feeling trapped by debt? What if I tell you there's a way to take control of your finances without being overwhelmed? What's up, everybody? It's your boy, StephenMotivate, back again with another episode of The Journey. Today, we're going to talk about debt management. I know debt can have you feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed out, but sometimes it's a necessary component to life, and I want to help you manage it the right way. Stay tuned for my game-changing tip that will save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's get into it. First things first, you need to list out all of your debt. This is a major issue with folks. They don't even know what their debt is. What I've always told you is that you can't manage what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure. So what does this look like practically? You need to list out all of your debt. Who do you owe? Do you owe your grandmama? Do you owe your aunties? Do you owe your uncles? Do you owe credit cards? Do you have a car loan? Do you have a house payment? List out all of your debt. You must do this. Do not forsake listing out all your debt. That's going to help you understand, okay, where am I at debt-wise and what do I need to address? How much do I owe? And then when you do this, you want to list out the payments, the interest rate, how long you've owed them. All those details are going to be super important that you managing your debt and managing it properly. So that's my first tip. List out all of your debt. Figure out everyone you owe so we can start to manage that debt properly. Tip number 2, there are 2 methods that are most popular. Either you have your debt snowball method or your debt avalanche method. Now, you have to think about which one is best for you. They call it the snowball method because it'll allow you to get small wins. What's the smallest amount of debt that you can see yourself paying and taking over little by little, inch by inch, right? It starts to sort of snowball. You take a little bit of money that you have that's extra and you start to pay on that debt. It's the smallest one, so you're going to pay it off more quickly. And what that's going to allow you to do is see a quick win. All right, I owe $200 on this credit card. My minimum payment's like $8 a month. Let me pay $50 on that. Let me take a big chunk out of it. And then let me do that again until I pay that off. And now I take that extra money that I was paying towards that bill, and I begin to snowball it into another bill. Moving on to the avalanche method. Now, this method, you're going to find out what's the highest interest that you're paying on any of your debts, right? So if it's your car, if you got a 13% interest rate on your car, you might say this is a good debt to focus on because it's high interest. And anytime you're paying high interest on any of your debts, it's costing you a lot of money. While it takes a bit longer, it allows you to save more money long term. So you may not see the win as quickly, but if you pay down that car loan and you put all of your extra income towards paying down that high interest debt, we're using the car loan as an example here. If you do that, then once that's paid off, you're going to see a big win, and that's just going to avalanche into your next biggest high interest debt. Either method can be effective for you. You just have to choose what's best for you. And remember, you still have to take care of your essentials, pay your necessary bills. And you can even in this case, pay, as much as you can on the other bills. Just make sure you're attacking that main bill that you've gotten focused, that main debt, and you're bringing that down. So choose what method is best for you. Look, here's my third point. You also need a budget. So a budget is going to help you tell your money where to go versus you having to wonder where it went, right? That's what a budget is. You tell your money where to go before you get into debt. And so you give it an assignment. You say, okay, I need this much for my living expenses. I need this much to eat in my own home. We're not eating out because we're saving money. We're really making sure we're not doing anything that's unnecessary. We've got a very strict budget that we're going to stick to. And if you get into the habit of budgeting your money, it's going to help you manage your debt because it's going to prevent you from having debt altogether. And so this is how you manage debt is by getting a plan, getting a budget, listing out the things that are necessary for your life to function, and then planning your money in that way. So we're not spending anything outside of our budget. We're actually living by a budget, and that's going to help us manage our debt because we're going to use any extra money to pay down debt, and now we're in a good position. Meanwhile, we're learning how to properly use money all the while so we don't get into debt in the future. Number 4, you have to negotiate with the folks you owe. Hey, if you owe your grandma some money, you need to negotiate and figure out how can you pay her. What does she really need that money back? Maybe she does, but have the conversation. And that's just an example for what you should do with everyone you owe money with. If you've gotten to the point where you owe money and you feel overwhelmed with it, don't be afraid to negotiate, because what can probably happen with any of your creditors, whether it's your credit cards, your banks, or a student loan, once you call them, they may be willing to actually take less than what you actually owe them. You can also negotiate down interest rates. What you can't do is bury your head in the sand and act like it doesn't exist, because it's not going to go away if you don't address it. Negotiating your debt is going to be a key to managing your debt correctly. So I want you to think about, okay, what are the tips that I can use to negotiate? Do I need to get an expert? Do I need to, if your debt's so big that maybe you need to get with a debt attorney, okay, that's fine. Either way, you're not going to let this debt control your life. There are ways that you can get through this situation that may seem so overwhelming. And one of those ways is through negotiation. You just have to try. It doesn't hurt to ask, and you don't know if you don't ask. Now for my game-changing tip that most people do not know. Never pay the minimum. Never, ever, ever, ever pay the minimum on your debt. You always pay more than the minimum. Always, always, always. I know it sounds crazy and inconvenient, but trust me, it's the fastest way to not only get out of debt, but also to build wealth. And I really want you to get this, because why? Debt is really made up of interest. And if you pay the minimum, you're just really mostly paying interest. You're not even paying off the debt. That's why you can have $1,000 credit card, and when you're just paying the minimum, you look up 7 months later and you still owe $999. And you're like, what? I'm paying this every month. But you're only paying the minimum, and so you're mostly just paying interest. So, number 1 tip for you, never pay the minimum. This has been a game changer for my life. I've lived a little bit now. I've had student loan debt. I've had car debt. I've had home debt. I've had all types of debt. But I never pay the minimum. And it's been a great asset, a great tool, a great learning for me. And so I just wanted to share that with you today. So use it, try it, see what it does for you. I think you're going to like it. There's so much more to talk about as it relates to debt. Not just debt avoidance, but debt management and how to leverage debt even. So many more things, and I can't get to all of it in this video. But we do have some other videos we're going to link for you. And we're going to give you more information so you can learn how to manage debt properly, because we really think this is going to help you on your journey to building a firm financial foundation and really building wealth, not just for you, but for your future. Look, if this helps you as much as this helped me, do me a favor. Like it, share it with a friend, leave a comment, and as always, stay motivated. It's your boy, StephenMotivate. Peace.